Well, hello everyone. How's it going on this fine afternoon? Well, afternoon here. It's afternoon, early afternoon, 12:50 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. For those of you who are watching in the UK, it is what, 5, something like that, 5:50, almost 6 o'clock, something like that. On the West Coast, it is still early. It's only like 9 o'clock. Hey, Seth, how are you? Earlier I was on. I was doing a walkthrough DeForest Pioneer Cemetery, which I haven't been to in quite some time, almost like 4 or 5 years since the restoration had ended, and they had a ceremony there to show off the final touches of the restoration, which really quite impressive. And that's the United Empire Loyalist Association of Canada. Because the DeForest family was a part of the Loyalist group that fled the U.S. in, I believe, probably late 1800s, anyways, or sorry, early 1800s. And they purchased a plot of land off the crown. In probably not too long after, probably as soon as they got here, really, there is traces of the family leading all the way up through Niagara Falls, Canada, into St. Catharines, and then up here in some of the cemeteries that are along the now what's known as the Queen Elizabeth Highway, Queen Elizabeth Way, which comes up from that direction into where we are here. And so originally what kind of interested me in this small little pioneer cemetery was a friend had been hiking there and saw it, and had said, asked me if I'd ever been there. I said, no, never. didn't even know about it. But then again, I just moved into the area, and he was saying that look at, um, it's pretty much laying in ruin. It looks like it's abandoned. Nobody's done anything to landscape it or anything to maintain it whatsoever. So that immediately got my attention. I did a little scouting trip up there, drove up there, and wow, I was like, holy, how can a piece of history like this just wilt away, just wilting away? The stones were, they were nowhere to be found, a lot of them. Only a few of them stood still. Many of them had been broken, weathered, laying on the ground, hiding in bush, like literally overgrowth, bush overgrowth. Excuse me, and not even in the proper areas of where the actual grave sites were. So we we would go up there and investigate and take some audio, and over the years research, try to find what we could on this particular cemetery. And it was very sparse. We actually, most of the information that we maintained, or what we were given, was from people who had done their own research and documenting who was buried in that particular cemetery through their own means and research. And even some of the family members had reached out and gave us some information. Well, the reason why was because they had seen our work on DeForest and were very intrigued by what our findings, like the EVPs and the stories that we had, or the experiences that we had up there. I mean, I don't normally do cemeteries. I don't really think cemeteries are especially haunted, if you will. They're just a very creepy, most likely, very creepy to walk amongst at night. But for some reason, this particular small little plot of land laying on top of a hill in the middle of nowhere, um, deemed some sort of research and paranormal, if that, trying to understand if there is anybody still there, why they're still there, and who they are. And some of the audio that we had taken from that place over the years has been very compelling, very it's just very odd and surreal. Sometimes going up there, it was just really, um I don't know how to explain it, other than it was just very different. It's like you're, you know, as Rod in chat said, as if you're a time traveler going back in time and going through a portal, and that sort of plot of land just seemed to be like a portal, if you will, into what it was like 120, 140 years ago, if not longer. And sometimes when we were up there, the activity that we had experienced was just phenomenal, just off the charts, and very unexplainable. Just couldn't explain it, because there's no direct housing around there. Now there is. You did have the original DeForest home that laid in behind the cemetery, that was built around the same time, if not just before that cemetery was produced, including a guest house. So if you watch the video that I put in the description here of me, doing the walkthrough of DeForest, you'd at least see the positioning where the house used to be, because now there's a new mansion there. And then, but the guest house is still there. The guest house, I believe, was an old schoolhouse, and for the children, the DeForest children, and the surrounding, families' children, which that family plot, the DeForest family plot, opened up and expanded to other families over the years that had been there. So you're looking at roughly probably only about 60 years, 60 maybe 70 years that cemetery was active for burial. And then, a Methodist church, or I believe it was either a United Church or a Methodist church, opened up just down the road from where the cemetery was. And now, obviously, I think whatever burials, hey, B, how are you, are associated with that particular cemetery now, or at least if they do have an active cemetery. I don't know. I don't think they have one on their property. So I don't know. It's kind of weird, but one of those things you have to look into. I mean, I've driven by the church many times, but I've never actually seen cemetery associated with it in the direct area. That's not to say that there's one around somewhere, but in terms of DeForest itself, it had no affiliation, as far as I know, to any cemetery, any church. And the city obviously took control of it, when it was came into existence. And unfortunately, I guess the resources weren't there to upkeep it, to maintain it, or whatever else. And like I said, the very first time we went in there, it was just like, wow. You're stepping back 100 years, 140 years, and but only things are just beyond recognizable, and it was really sad. I mean, it was to the point where we were doing annual cleanups of the cemetery. Every fall we'd go in there and clean it up a little bit, and sort of, the at the time we didn't have leaf bags. We had just garbage bags. We had garbage bags filled, like, literally, you know 20, 30, 40 bags full of just leaves and rubbish and twigs and whatever else that was taken out of the cemetery during the cleanup. And hopefully, it was something that sparked the city into going, look, we need to do something. But it just didn't. Hey, Luke, how are you? The city just didn't hold on, let me see if I can find it. The city just didn't really take an interest in it, which was really sad. And then, hold on, I decided to um, organize. Let me see if I can find it here. Organize a no. Organize a cleanup, or sorry, restoration project. Um, and yeah, it was definitely a hard undertaking. And this is, I believe, 2013, so 10 years ago. Holy shit, roughly about 10 years ago. And we were going to have a lot of guest speakers there. Let me just see if I can find the okay, so here's the article. I'll show you guys here. Any pictures of what? DeForest? If you, I will post some pictures here that I took today. Actually, I'll post some pictures of what it looks like now. Hold on, let me just see. But here's the article, anyways. Okay. So here's the article. Group to hold fundraiser to restore DeForest Pioneer Cemetery. And there's myself and Linda, who was a part of the group at the time, and me holding the tickets. And just basically, it was going to be held at the Halton Region Museum, October 20th. And it was called the DeForest Restoration Project. And yeah, so there's the article. If you guys want to read it, I don't know. You guys can read it. I'll post it in the chat if you guys want to read it. There's the link to read it if you're interested. But anyhow, it unfortunately didn't happen due to sadly no interest. It wasn't an interesting thing, I suppose, which was kind of sad. So let me see. Okay. Let me see here. So I got here's a poster. Do I get a picture of the poster? I think. No, I don't have a picture. I know I have a picture of the poster somewhere for the not here. Hold on a sec. Give me a sec here, guys. And it was actually Nocturnal Frequency Radio. We were going to broadcast live at this as well. Wow, look at that. Nothing. I don't even have the poster there. So it's going to take me a little bit of time, which I was kind of surprised we do not have it posted, but I'll look for it, guys. I'll see it. Find the poster for you guys. Give me a sec here. And then I'll show you some pictures of DeForest. No, not there. Okay, so it's not in there. Oh, there it is. Found it. Okay, so here's the poster. Let me just open it up and share the screen with you guys. To give you an idea who there's the poster there. So our good friend David Ferrant, okay, right there, was going to be one of the guest speakers who was going to be a live video link from the UK to talk about the Highgate Vampire and Highgate Cemetery and everything else. My good friend Stephen Ramelow, who's no longer with us as well, he was going to be a part of it. He's notoriously known for a TV series called Beyond, which deals with the paranormal. Our good friend Richard Palmisano was going to be a part of it. Hold on, let's just see. And Greg Newkirk and Dana Newkirk were going to be. They were on board for this. Many of you know them as Who Forwarded and now a couple TV series. Oh God, hold on a second. Let me just pull it up here. Let me just pull it up here. Okay. It drives me nuts when I can't. For Hellier, yeah. And now they've got a new one coming out called what is it? The Uncanny, I think it's called. Hold on, I will tell you in a sec. The Unbinding is coming out soon. It just actually was it premiered, I believe, somewhere down in Ohio. Dave McRae, who's for the Port Robinson story, Port Robinson Road, that never made it, but his documentary was pretty cool. Justin Del Rio, who's been on our show several times, and of course myself and wait a second. Oh, well. There you go. So, anyways, that's that. Hey, Cal. Yeah, so that didn't happen, unfortunately. Let me just see. Let's see some pictures now. Let's see. No, I'm not sure. Let's see here. Have I got some old pictures of? I've got some pictures of them. That's new. Those are new pictures, so that's not going to work out. Let me just see here. I don't think I have them on here, but we will see. No, I don't think I have. Which is kind of odd. I thought I would have some loaded up here, but I guess I don't. Well, here's a picture. No, that's not it. Yeah, sadly, I don't have any loaded up, which is kind of weird. Let me just see, just double check, make sure I don't. What's this? Nope. Anyways, I'll pull some old pictures up later if I can find them. But here's some new photos I just took of the cemetery. Again, many of you have seen it if you watched the video that I posted, the live walkthrough this morning. I put them on. Where did I put them? In here. Photos. Media. Okay, so all right, so here I'll show this. Here's some new photos of it. So this is the way it looks like now after the restoration. And sitting up there on top of the hill. And this is the Campbell Monument, where a lot of kids are buried. Let's see. Oh, did I? No. Okay, here we go. There it is. There. Again, there's the sign going up. Some of the tombstones, and as you can see, they've got steel reinforced binding to hold the stones in place now. Some of the stones were in such bad shape that they had to replica one of them, and I'll show you. But as you can see, all of them are standing now. All these stones laid down. They were laying down. They're broken from the mantle, weathered, and some of them were dragged and put up against the fencing. One of them was hiding in the overgrowth. There was huge overgrowth. Oh boy, let's see. And again, there's the Campbell Monument and George Shields. This one here, George Shields there, that again was another one that was hiding in the bushes. very, very rare to find it. It took a while, but we found it. And said, "Hey, there's more stones. This is crazy." Another look at the Thomas Small monument in the background there. And again, when I get a shot of it, I'll go and talk about it. This is actually really sad because this was fully restored, completely fully restored, and they if you can see, they put it all back together and gave it new mounts, like concrete mounts. But unfortunately, I don't know what happened. I'm hoping this wasn't vandalism, but you never know. I mean, it's unfortunate. I hope it's not vandalism, that this is just so weathered it just gave out. But it's really sad, because this thing laid. It was like completely erected, even before the restoration, so it was still in relatively pretty good shape. Wrought iron. Okay, got another one of the stones. And the Thomas Small monument is an interesting one because, like I said, uh, we repaired it one time. If you look up in here and then down here, you'll see like a seam. It's been repaired. The restoration, I guess, it's been repinned, so it's harder to sort of crumble or fall like it did. But what happened was somebody had pushed it over, and the cap had rolled down the hill. We actually had to carry it back up. And the long stone part laid on the ground as if somebody was sitting on it, using it as seating, and there was candles on each end of it. Um, for what? Who knows? But what is that? So there you go. That's a cicada right there. Actually, I didn't notice that until you took. But there's tons of cicadas up, and I'll tell you, there's tons of mosquitoes up there. Tons. Okay, so there you go. Let's see. This is actually interesting because this had never been seen before. I had never seen this before. Before the restoration, maybe I saw it during the restoration. I don't know, but I can't remember. I'd have to look through the restoration photos again. And this is a very unique area of the cemetery that had some intrigue with some of the people, some of the psychics, mediums that we've had up. Were always drawn to this area, and one in particular, who was with the group years ago, um, excuse me, was very intrigued with that sort of area. Yeah, yeah, it's I wonder what happened to the fancy room. See, I don't know. I like to hope that. Hey, Mick, how are you? I like to hope that it was just weathering and it just gave out. I just hope it wasn't vandalism, but I'm not going to put it past because, like I said, there's been some sort of vandalism before. These two stones were, in fact, um, before the restoration, laid inside this plot here on the ground, laying down, covered with years of foliage, dead foliage and twigs and whatever else, and we some dirt. We actually did see a portion. I think we cleared a portion of it away and was able to find it, but we didn't want to disturb it and pull it out of the ground just in case. So, but thankfully, when they did restore the cemetery, they were able to restore these stones to the proper resting spot, if you will. And then once again, the wrought iron. That's just sad to see. I'll show you a picture of it before of, and there you go. And this one here is a replica, I believe. I don't think this is the actual Simon DeForest stone. I think it was completely destroyed. And this was part of the restoration where they actually built this and put it in its place. Because again, the DeForest family were loyalist, and the people responsible for the restoration of this cemetery was the loyalist of Canada, right? So that's pretty cool. All right, let's see. I think that might be the last one, but let's see. Oh, no more. So as you can see, they're all standing in the rightful spots now. All right. That's along the back, or sorry, along the side and the back corner again. And one of the original stones, John DeForest. Right. And there's a wide angle sort of shot, if you will, of the back. And another one of the old Joseph Wallace. Again, this started out as the DeForest family plot, but then grew to a couple other families that were in the area at the time. And that's it. In the area at the time. So, yeah. Anyhow. Oh, let's load this up here. Hold on. So some of the classic, I guess, I'll play some of the EVPs from DeForest. This is a strange one indeed. Again, this was not audible real time to our to the naked ear when we first heard it. So. So what you're hearing, it almost sounds like storm doors from a house or a structure close by, opening and being closed, and some walk. You hear some walking. It's kind of weird. Can never figure it out, but again, this is like right there with us, and there's nothing by there that would, kind of make that noise. Okay, let's see. All right. I don't know. This is just a forest one. Let's see what this one is. This could be one of the first EVPs from DeForest.
I'll check. Go around, ask some questions, and we'll see what happens.
Oh, okay.
Just level to the ground like this.
Yeah, just make sure.
I'll check. Go around, ask some questions, and we'll see what happens.
Oh, okay.
Just level to the ground like this.
Yeah. Just
so as you can hear,
I'll check,
hold on.
go around, ask some questions.
So as you hear, you're hearing, I'll go around, ask some questions, and then you hear a female voice answering, and then on top of that, you hear something. All right.
We'll see what happens.
Oh, okay.
So just level to the ground like this.
Yeah, just make sure.
I'll check, go around, ask some questions, and we'll see what happens.
Oh, okay.
So just level to the ground like this.
Yeah, just make sure.
I'll check, go around, ask some questions, and we'll see what happens.
Oh, okay.
I haven't gone through. Hold on a sec.
Yeah, just make sure.
I'll check, go around.
I haven't gone through the audio yet, B. I'll probably go through it later on when I have some time. But we'll see. Hopefully, one thing about DeForest, it's been a wealth of audio clips that just are phenomenal, and even during the day, but mostly at night when it's easier to control. Like I said, and it's a little harder now because the new house, the mansion that's there, the people in there, I don't think they really take too kindly to us walking around close to their house at night, because it seems like there's surveillance. When people go up there, they drive up and down the road, excuse me, where the cemetery is. But whatever. I mean, it's not like we haven't been stopped by the cops before, and we've told them what we're doing. There's no harm, no damage, or nothing. We're quiet. We're not disturbing. We're not vandalizing or anything like that. So, yeah, you hear a child's voice. Exactly, Mark. I'll play it again. If you guys haven't heard it, I'll play it again.
Ask some questions, and we'll see what happens.
Oh, okay.
So just level to the ground like this.
Yeah, just make sure.
I'll check, go around, ask some questions, and we'll see what happens.
Oh, okay.
So just level to the ground like this.
Yeah, just make sure.
I'll check, go around, ask some questions, and we'll see what happens.
Oh, okay.
So just level to the ground like this.
Yeah, just make sure.
I'll check, go around, ask some.
So there we go. I'll get another one here. Here is another version of it. But we'll see. Hold on.
I'll check, go around.
Slow down.
We'll see what happens.
Sounds like he's drunk.
Okay.
So just level to the ground like this.
Yeah, just make sure.
So it slowed down a bit
I'll
to see.
check, go around, ask some questions, and we'll see what happens.
Oh, okay.
So just level to the ground like this.
Yeah, just make sure.
Okay, so let's see. Huh? Okay, yeah, that's kind of what some people thought it was saying, but here I go forcing a change of direction in your thinking and your thought patterns. But I'll play it again, and a majority of the people who have listened to this analyzed it over and over and over and over again, the consensus is the child is saying, "I'm cold." Here we go.
I'll check, go around, ask some questions, and we'll see what happens.
Oh, okay.
So just level to the ground like this.
Yeah, just make sure.
I'll check, go around, ask some questions, and we'll see what happens.
Oh, okay.
So just level to the ground like this.
Yeah, just make sure.
Interesting. Always an interesting. Okay, let's see. I'll load some more up here.
I'll check.
Hold on, there we go. All right, let's see what this one is. I don't know. Unfortunately, I don't have these labeled. I don't know why I don't have these labeled, other than DeForest, but we'll see what this is.
But all I've seen in here is just trees.
So,
But all I've seen in here is.
so basically, this is one of the times that myself and lead investigator Chris Stevenson went up there ourselves. And what you can hear is what we heard many times up there was what we called ghost chatter. So we are hearing like it sounded like real time EVPs. So we would hear this constantly. It was like a constant stream of talking, and it sounded like many people talking amongst the bushes, like the foliage and trees to the boundary of the cemetery. And what they were saying we could never make out because it was just very quiet, but very audible in terms of being able to hear it, but not making out what they were saying. So this is there was one night we were up there and we were doing some audio work, and it was just like it was one after another, and it was just wow. We were in total awe. We couldn't figure it out. And hey Barry, how are you? And this is one, it's very subtle. Again, the best way to hear it is if you're listening with a set of earphones on or whatever. Um, but I'll tell you what it says, or what we kind of think it says. But here you go.
This tree. But all I've seen in here is this tree. But all I've seen in here is this tree. But all I've seen in here is this tree. But all I've seen in here is this tree. But all I've seen in here is this tree. But all I've seen in here is.
And what's really creepy about that one is at the end of what's saying the wording is it seems to just vanish, like dissipate, audibly dissipate into the surrounding atmosphere. It's just really, really odd. But hold on. That's a good guess, B. Very good. It seems to fade out and wobble. Yeah. So listen. Play it again.
This tree. But all I've seen in here is this tree. But all I've seen in here is this tree. But all I've seen in here is this tree. But all I've seen in here is this tree. But all I've.
So basically, what we're thinking is it seems like a male voice whispering and saying, "Listen up, don't go." And I don't know. What do you guys think? I'll play it again.
Seen in here is this tree. But all I've seen in here is this tree. But all I've seen in here is this tree. But all I've seen in here is this tree.
But as I pointed out, this was one of many that we captured that night, and it seemed to be a part of what we coined as the ghost chatter, if you will, a very common occurrence there. There was another night we went up there, and there was I believe four of us, and one of the girls in the group at the time, we got our equipment girl, Leanne. We got up to the hill, and we were setting up, getting ready to do some audio work, and she just felt really, really sick. She was getting violently sick, like she had to like puke, bring up whatever. And we had to literally carry her back down to the car. But once she got back down to the car, she was all right. She was fine. She couldn't understand it. None of us could understand it. You know, what's going on? Are you okay? She didn't know. So we are you willing to go back up? She was willing to be up, go back up. She went back up. She was fine. But it was very, very odd that when she got up there, she felt very, very sick, just extremely sick. And she was immobilized, it seemed like, to the point where we had to actually like I said, carry her back down to her car and see if she was going to be okay. And thankfully she was, but really, really odd. Let's see. I'll find some more EVPs. Okay. I have to let's see. So you get a lot of the EVPs I have were on the old hard drive. I don't have a lot of them on this hard drive, so that sucks. Nope. Nope. Those are the only ones I have right now loaded up. I will have to get more, but I have to get them off the old hard drive. So, so that's it for EVPs for today. Now, hold on a sec here. Let's see. One of the guys, Chris, who, hold on a sec, I'm going to play his video. Because he was very invested in, where is it? He was very invested in DeForest as well. Like me, was doing a lot of research up there. Where the heck are you? Hold on, let me just see if I... Here we go. Okay, so here's a video he had done. He did it like 4 years ago. And let's just see. I'll play it for you guys. And you might recognize some of the music because it's by our good friend James Scott, who did the original Nocturnal Frequency radio theme and the music for my first documentary, Chasing Shadows. Okay, I'll share screen. And this is his personal sort of take, but here you go.
"27 years old and out of work. A musician in a past life, and now walking a lonely road. I've always been interested in ghosts and the paranormal. In high school, my guidance counselor asked me what I wanted to be when I graduated. A parapsychologist, I replied. With a grin, she told me, "You can't do that." Still, her shadow walks with me. In 2007, the road was long and dark. In my absence of living dreams and standing still, I stood still long enough to listen to my heart. With the rise of paranormal TV shows and a growing interest on the internet of paranormal groups, I took a chance. I reached out. I drove along a dark road with a light at the end. DeForest Pioneer Cemetery, a small family plot outside Burlington, Ontario. Time had not been kind to this place of the dead. In the winter of 2007, the paranormal group I joined decided to investigate the forest.
And there's the wrought iron plot standing as it did so many years ago.
As I ascended into the Loyalist resting plot, everything was about to change. As I conducted what paranormal investigators call an EVP session.
I'll check, go around and ask some questions and we'll see what happens.
Oh, okay.
So just level to the ground like this.
Yeah, just make sure that.
I'm cold. I was completely blown away. Was that really a voice from another place? We later returned in 2009. This time, the forest would not hold back. As we heard chatter from a grove of maples that sat beside the forest, to seeing shadows that seemed to dart behind erect monuments. It was electricity.
But all I've seen in here is just trees.
As we looked for grave markers hidden in the bushes. Was something with us?
That's just weird, man. You see that?
Steve, the investigator that was with me. Another return. Who was it who wanted to make contact?
You might get something, just like if you're asking like a person a question.
Thomas. Thomas Small, perhaps? The Southern Ontario Paranormal Society organized a cleanup of the abandoned resting spot of the DeForests. Due to the efforts of the Southern Ontario Paranormal Society and the United Empire Loyalists, DeForest has now been returned to a state of peace. What now lies in the resting place of the dead? Was it the spirit of Thomas Small trying to make contact? Or have the shadows been appeased? DeForest has changed me forever. The last minute of an audio recording has sent me on a journey and healed my soul as well. I left behind doubt and reached out. In places of the dead, life can be reborn.
So there you go. Some of the some old photos of DeForest. Again, as you can see, the wrought iron family plot was standing still even before the restoration in 2018. Wow, it seems so long ago. I think that was not the last time I was there, but one of the last times. Hold on a sec here. Just out of curiosity. I'm gonna go see. Let's see if it's posted here. Okay. Media. Okay. Okay, so I'll share some photos with you all here. This is during the restoration of this is after, actually, after the, just shortly after. This is the unveiling. This is the unveiling of the newly restored cemetery, presented by the United Empire Loyalist Association. Okay, so and this is where the ceremony was, obviously. And the new sign that the city had erected, now it's been replaced with a newer sign. Just the people involved. And I mean, look there you go. There's the wrought iron plot. That's the way it stood after it had been restored. It had been given some new concrete pads, supports, because that part of the I remember that part of it was like draping down, like ready to fall over. And so, but that's what it looked like after it was restored. Again, a newly built fence, and then all that back area is like covered and, or sorry, cleared away to put up the fence. And as you can see, a lot of the markers were placed on new cement mantles, so that they're standing and not lying on the ground, pretty much where they were all buried, exactly, almost. And again, there, curious. See, there it is there. See, those trees are not there anymore. They're gone. They're now gone. They've fallen over. Okay, interesting. Let's see. So that's the John DeForest. Again, this is another one that was hiding in the background there. As you can see, that fencing is new. There was the old fencing was long gone. I mean, that was probably built years and years and years ago. But that's now gone. New fencing have been put up. The bushes cleared, and again the stones brought out and placed where they were supposed to be placed. Right. And as you can see in the background, there's a mansion here. The old DeForest homestead used to be there. It's too bad it passed away. Too bad it was torn down. And again, some of the stones, cleaned and repaired. And again, inside the family plot, which is now, unfortunately, it's all but crumbled, which is sad. I don't know. I don't think I've seen Simon DeForest's. Let's see if there's a picture in that direction. I think Simon DeForest was added later on, as I pointed out. As I was pointing out earlier, that stone was in such bad shape, and I guess they couldn't put it back, so they generated a replica out of this soapstone or marble, one of the two. I don't know how they made those stones. Granite, perhaps. I don't know, but let's see. Once again, I'll show you. Let's see. Where are we? There we go. I'll show the photos again. So this is 5 years later. 5 years later, I'll show you the photos again. 5 years later. Okay. So this is exactly. So okay, let me just. So you guys saw the photos from the unveiling. So here you go. This is today. This is today when I went up there. This is after I did the live walkthrough. And guys, you can see it on this channel here. If you want to watch it, I think it's in links in the description as well of this. But this is how it's looking now, 5 years later. And as you can see, the wrought iron. Let's get a look at it. See? Now, see, this is disturbing me. This disturbs me because these things were placed on concrete supports, as you can see, right? And literally has fallen over as if. I don't want to say they just fell over. It seems like these things were vandalized. That's the way it looks like to me. It looks like it's been vandalized. I'm hoping I'm wrong here, but it looks like they're vandalized. So there you go. Again, fine. So here's the Simon DeForest stone. This is not the original stone, because I remember the original stone was in bad shape, like really bad shape. So this is a replica stone. And they did a really awesome job. I mean, the weeping willow at the top, that was characteristic of the original. This is exactly the way the original looked like, even the fonts of the tombstone itself and what it says. Okay, so there you go. While on, see, I can't make, well on earth, I did remain. I suffered much with grief and pain. But when the Lord had at best, I don't know, something, he took one to his of, I don't know, you can't read the rest of it, but hold on. To rest, I guess. But like I said, this is not the original stone. This is a replica. Again, you see the trees have fallen over, and the camel plot. And this is intriguing. This was not, I never did see this before, which is kind of weird. We had a feeling there was something here, like some sort of a mound, a burial mound of sorts or something, because the hill, like there was a little mound, if you will, but we couldn't find a marker, so we didn't know for sure. But like I said, one of the early mediums in the group, she was very attracted to this area, and she even broke down and was in tears, overwhelmed by feeling of children playing, and that she knew that these children, there was children buried here playing, But in the old pictures, there used to be some trees, two small trees. They're gone now. They've fallen over, I guess. And more. And there's the new sign up there, and the walkway to DeForest, which now, after 5 years, again is alone. It's really sad. I mean, it's a cemetery, right? I do believe some of the family members, descendants, do go up and visit the site, and have over the years. I've heard from many of the descendants in the past, and yeah, so I mean, it's really sad. It really is. It's really sad. And yeah, okay, so let's see. And again, there's the entrance, right? And everything was made possible by the United Empire Loyalist Association of Canada, the Ontario Hamilton chapter, I believe it was the Hamilton chapter, Hamilton, Ontario, which is thanks to those guys for fitting the bill, because we tried our best to get some sort of restoration and progress, but we just didn't have the funds or the support, unfortunately. So maybe we should have started a GoFundMe. I don't even think we did. I wonder if there are more there are more people buried there, because I don't think everyone's accounted for, unfortunately. And that's the unfortunately, that's the sad reality of places like this. It's a sad reality, you know, a piece of history. People, you know, hopefully aren't forgotten, but in this state of how this was when we first found it, it was like, you know, literally impossible to find out exactly how many and who exactly was buried there outside the noticeable stones and everything else, which is quite sad. But you know what? This isn't the only cemetery out there that's like this. But this is the one that we gravitated to. This is the one we paid attention to. Excuse me. We heard the cries for help, and we did it. We did our best to help out as much as possible, and hopefully they know that. So, but yeah. It, like I said, I hadn't been up there in close to 4 years. I don't know why, especially during COVID. I don't know why I just didn't go up there and see how things were. But wow, I'm really sadly, Mark, there is no burial record, none, because it was a private family plot. It wasn't linked to the city at the time. They don't have full records of who is buried there. A genealogical society took it upon themselves to look at records, who look through records and historical sort of notes and books and stuff like that, to gauge who was buried there through the stones that were visible and those that weren't. And I think they were pretty, like 99% accurate in terms of who they were able to find. And but sadly, we do know that there are more people there, and I think I don't know the full results of the ground penetrating radar. But like I said, they were able to find some like Simon DeForest, and there was another one where they were buried, so they could put the stones that were visible back to the rightful spot. But again, there is a couple other areas where we don't know, like Mother. We don't know who that Mother is. Actually, there's two places where Mother is mentioned on the stones. We don't know who they are. You don't know. In fact, the one that I had said I'd never seen there before until today. I don't remember it during the restoration either. But after the restoration, there's no markings as to who those three stones. I'm assuming their children were buried there. Are buried there. Three or more, I don't know, but there are no names listed. If they are, you can't make them out on the stones. And if they are on the stones, they're not a part of the stones that are laying there now. They're probably missing, buried under the ground somewhere in that mound, perhaps. I don't know. I really don't know. I remember with Josh. He acquired some sort of imaging machine. Yeah, there is a ground penetrating radar that they can use. And it's very expensive, extremely expensive to use. But I do think that they used something similar during the before the restoration, during the restoration, to figure out where the stones are supposed to be placed. Because over the years, A majority of the stones were so weathered, so brittle, and destroyed by vandalism. In fact, I, for the longest time, did not share the location of DeForest, simply in due part to, people who the information got into the wrong hands would go up there and vandalize it. In fact, one individual who I'm not going to mention did sort of broadcast out there. He found the cemetery. He found it and he broadcasted it to the world where it was located, and within days it had been vandalized. In fact, we had gone up there, I believe the night after the vandalism, and had found, you know, as I said, one of the Thomas Small stone pushed over and used for seating. Totally disrespectful. Why though? What? Why did they vandalize it? Why did they broadcast out there? Why? Be explain. I don't know what you mean by why though. Why did they vandalize it? Your guess is as good as mine. There are vicious people out there that just don't care. Yeah, that just don't care. They don't give a shit. They just see something and they feel that what's the point of it being here, and just destroy it. I just don't understand. Exactly, Sab. Exactly. It's a question I ask myself all the time with some of these. It's a piece of our history. It's a piece of history. And it's done nothing to anybody else. It's done nothing. It lays there defenseless. And yet there are people that go up there and desecrate these places and don't give a shit. In fact, they're over there in the UK. I was very vocal about a certain person over there, a bogus bishop, if you will, who was attacking me because I had defended somebody, and you guys, I'm sure, all know by now who. But I was questioning his methods of going into an old crypt in Highgate Cemetery. Oh, I just gave it away. Highgate Cemetery, and staked what he said, staked the head vampire. So you literally got a metal rod or a wooden rod, and drove it through a body in a crypt. Is that not desecration? That, to me, that is desecrating a resting spot. Even if there's a way into the crypt or not, you don't do something like that. But yet this guy did. And he sees what he's done as defending the Catholic sort of reign against evil vampires, if you will. Fucking grow up. Fuck. But anyways, if you really think there are fucking vampires out there and stupid enough to go into a fucking crypt, a fucking historical crypt, with a fucking stake, a wooden stake, and whatever else, break into this crypt, a resting spot, somebody's fucking personal resting spot, and desecrate it with a fucking stake. How is that not wrong? How is that not illegal? How is that guy coming off like he's this perfect fucking bishop, a holy man? Really? You call that holy? Go fuck yourself. uh, yeah, vampire lives matter. But this is what I mean, right? Getting back to DeForest, it just there was the one evening we had gone up there and saw the destruction, because I had this really bad feeling that as soon as this guy broadcasted the known location of the cemetery and the fact that it might be haunted or their paranormal, he can do a biblical, yeah. Yeah, he'll never come on and do a biblical. I've already tried inviting him on the show several times, but he just doesn't want to come on, and I don't blame him. I don't care. But as soon as this guy broadcasted the whatchamacallit, the location to the cemetery, the Pioneer Cemetery, I just had this overwhelming feeling that come on, there's going to be somebody going up there and desecrating this place. I just had a really bad vibe, and you know what? My intuition was right. We went up there, and like I said, we found the place desecrated beyond. It was sad. It was something we were thinking about. We were thinking about doing that and seeing what kind of people would go up there and lay destruction. Like the thought of knocking over the Thomas Small mound, and using it to sit on, burning candles on it, and using it as a seat. Somebody's fucking grave marker knocked over and used as a fucking seating area, as a seat. Why? Why do people do this? I mean, it's expensive now. It's expensive enough as it is to bury a loved one. It's extremely expensive. In fact, many probably don't even do it anymore. They're simply happy with being, cremated and thrown in the wind or off some cliff or whatever else. You're seeing a lot more people do it that way. They don't want a grave marker. They don't want to be buried. And not to mention that space is becoming very limited. Which one, DeForest or Highgate Cemetery? But it's it's like I said, you're seeing more and more people being cremated. They're not too worried about having a final resting spot, if you will. From a paranormal sort of aspect, cemeteries I don't think should be like haunted, if you will. And I hate using the word haunted. It just seems so archaic, just like the word ghost. But I mean, I don't think that is their final resting spot. It's their final resting spot, your physical vessel, which you've already left. At the point of your death, if you will, when you spiritually leave your body or whatever else. I mean, don't you think that if you're aware of this, you're not going to haunt your final resting spot, because I mean, you technically don't know that where that is unless you have it planned. But I mean, more so a familiar area, somewhere where was maybe your favorite spot, or depending on how you died, if it was in a car accident, maybe that area where the car accident was, or in a home, you had a massive heart attack and you dropped dead. Maybe you lived in that home for 30 plus years or whatever, and you had this routine, a daily routine, and that's how you hunt. That's the area that you hunt. But most likely, think scenarios, and these are theories, obviously, scenarios like, I don't know, I'm dead. Maybe they don't know they're dead, and they're confused and trying to figure out where they are, or they have unfinished business. They're in the middle of trying to finish something up, and they couldn't finish it, so they're trying to finish it off still. Maybe a thing, and that would stay in a place where the person spent exactly something, and that to me seems reasonably spot on, rather than a graveyard. I mean, graveyards are creepy because you bury the physical vessel of a dead loved one, and technically they're not even in that vessel anymore. They're long gone. They've been given the once over by the fucking mortician, pumped full of this and formaldehyde and blah blah blah. And you know what? Your energy is long gone. It's translated into somewhere else. It's morphed into something else. At least that's what we hope to think it is. Your soul, if you will, is moved on to the next sort of level, if you will. Some people seem to think the real life, or reincarnation, or just a birth, death and then birth again, whenever. We just don't know. I mean, that is the $1 million question and answer that we all have. And we all face it at one point in our life, obviously. And until we, reach our time, it's going to be a question we keep asking ourselves. And the older we get, the more frequent I think the question becomes. What happens to me? What happens to me? Where do I go? What happens? Do you start getting more stressed about it or less stressed about it? All these variables come into play, right? And then, of course, when you get closer to it, you sit there and go, well, I need to get my stuff in order, my affairs in order. I need to make sure, if I'm going to have a resting spot, where is it going to be? Then I have to pay the dues. Oh my God, the money is it's so expensive, extremely expensive to bury a loved one now. Absolutely, B. It is very tough getting older and thinking about it, because it drones on longer. The older you get, the more it drones on, and becomes not a reminder, a subtle reminder, but a constant reminder. The older you get, it's like, oh, automatically you get some health problems, and you get depression sets in, and then obviously you start thinking of your mortality more and more as these things happen. But I mean, until life is at its end for you, anybody, I think it's not you can't do yourself a favor by thinking about it. I mean, it's a hard thing, but I mean, I think what you really need to do is change your sort of perspective on what death means. I mean, obviously, it's unknown. We're afraid of unknown things. We always have been. We're afraid of total darkness. We're afraid of being alone. We're afraid of being in the cold and away from the warmth. And oh, hold on. Absolutely. And but Sab, there are a lot of people with thin skins out there that everything makes them think about it. And Yeah, I mean, it's out of your control, really. I mean, you can control some of it, but I mean, ultimately, you can't control death. I mean, you might be able to control the time frame, maybe, but by how much time, who knows? But I mean, you can't control the ultimate sort of event playing out. I mean, we can't control that. So I mean, like a lot of things in life, why try to control it when you can't control it? You get into this state that it's like a bottomless fucking pit, and you can't, and it takes you forever to try to crawl out of, and in some cases many people can't crawl out of, and ultimately crawl to their demise a lot quicker because of the stress and everything else that you put upon yourself, or the state of mind obviously that you put yourself in becomes to the point where you're like, wow, I don't think I'm ever going to get out of this state. It's hard not to think about it. I get it, but you know what? I think people have to change their perspective on what death is. You know, death is the end of your physical being. The physical part of you ends. Does that mean the energy and your essence that comes with that inside you ends too? Probably not. But our consciousness might alter into that transition. It might alter. We may not remember who we are, what we were. And that's, I think, a lot of cases, you know, deja vu and whatchamacallit, oh my God, I'm having a brain fart here. I mentioned it earlier. Now I can't remember. Um, Past life regression. You know, these things come into play when you have these memories that you know aren't yours, but yet they're so vivid. You remember it. Like there's information that you know, only that person that you might have been would know. You know. Oh, that's a good one, B. I don't want my house urbexed and shown on YouTube. Better keep it tidy. Exactly. But you know, it's a difficult thing. It's a difficult thing to come to terms with for a lot of people. And getting back to DeForest, and I think that's what really bothered me about the state of DeForest when I first saw it. You know, trying to get in the minds of the people who were buried there, and what they would have thought if they knew how things were today with the state of how DeForest was, and what they would have thought or what they might think if that is a possibility, obviously, of everything being restored, and given an extension on life, if you will, even though some of it now has fallen by the wayside and is wilting again, which is sad. But which I don't understand. I like I said, I keep going back to that family plot, wrought iron family plot that I seriously think is the end result of some vandalism. I like to hope that's not the case, but when you look at that, it was structurally pretty sound. I remember, and I think it would take somebody physically pushing it down or kicking it, as it looked when I saw it today, as it looks when you watch the video of my walkthrough this morning. You know, I like to hope that's not the case, but sadly, this world, humans are evil. If there are demons in this world, they are human. Humans, I think, are demonic. And why would you want to do something like that? Why would you want to, kick in, this family plot till it's like completely destroyed? I mean, it's literally completely destroyed now. I mean, you could probably go in and fix it again, but I mean, that's going to cost money, more money. I mean, money, who has this kind of money now? And the city isn't going to fit the bill because that's not in their budget, which is sad. DeForest was never in their budget. Never. I remember in contact with a representative of the city, and they were literally giving us these price ranges on what it would cost to have this done and have that done to restore the cemetery. And I sat there and go, wow, you're really that hollow. You're really that hollow. Here is a piece of property within your city limits that you are in control of. Excuse me. You don't even maintain it. You don't cut the grass. You don't trim the bushes or anything like that. You don't do anything in there. The simple fucking things, you don't do any of it. So there's absolutely no way that they're going to fit the bill on fixing that wrought iron plot, which is sad. I mean, I could get a GoFundMe page put together and try to fit the bill that way. But how many times are you going to have to do that? You fix it up, and then all of a sudden you got somebody else that decides that they want to go in there and play a fucking dirty joke and destroy it again. Why? Why? The question is why? I'm just reading here. Hold on. That is strange, Sab. Yeah, that's pretty strange indeed. I will buy you a trail cam. Well, Sab, if you want to, donate, absolutely. I would never discourage that, and of course, everything that goes towards that, obviously, I would put it up there, and absolutely, absolutely. I'm just afraid that somebody might grab it and take it. That's my only issue. I mean, I could probably hide it pretty good, but I'm just worried that somebody might take it. And who knows? Like I said, the people that live in the house in behind DeForest, they're unpredictable. I don't know. Like I said, that we've it's almost like they have surveillance going on, and yeah, no, I do, guys. That if that's something you would be interested in, I would be all for it. I would even put more. I put some into it as well. And give you sort of a live feed or a of stuff from the forest if you guys are interested. Absolutely. I definitely. Yeah. Well, Sab, maybe we should be in contact. It's Kim as well. Yeah. Um, well, you know what? I wouldn't be surprised, B. I would not be surprised. I absolutely would not be. Like I said, I can't tell you the amount of stuff that has been captured in there. I wish I had my other hard drive available. I've got a hard drive full. I mean, I have, you know what? You know what I'm going to do, guys? I've got a lot of old DeForest footage, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it together, edit it, and just give you guys another perspective on it. A perspective on that. I would certainly do that as well. Oh my God, I've got a crap load of footage, old footage over the years. You got to think, in the span of since 2005, we had been up there. We've been up there so many times. It's just incredible. The amount of stuff. So many times. Hold on a sec. Okay. Let me see here. I can't. No, I don't think there's any laws. It's just a matter of placing it in an area where it's not visible, so somebody won't take it or steal it. For the most part, I don't think anyone will disturb it. But like I said, I don't know what those people are like. So I don't know. Yeah, exactly. Unless they watch a stream. Yeah, no, I'm all for it. Guys, if you want to donate to something like that, then absolutely. I don't know if you guys have my email or the show's email. Send me an email, nocturnalfrequencyradio@gmail.com. Send me an email and we'll further discuss this. We'll discuss this further, whatever, if you guys are interested, by all means. I'm absolutely all for that. I don't have a problem going out and going out and doing this and getting something up. Absolutely. I would certainly be up for that, putting that trail come up. I do have PayPal. I do be. Yeah, I have PayPal. Again, I don't want to share it here right now. But if you shoot me an email I don't know if we're friends on Facebook or not, B. Or just email me at nocturnalfrequencyradio@gmail.com, guys, and we'll go further from that. Go further with that behind the scenes. I don't have the my PayPal set up here yet. I eventually will, but I don't. I'm kind of skeptical with PayPal with this right now, but yeah, if you guys want to email me at nocturnalfrequencyradio@gmail.com, all lowercase, and we'll discuss it further that way. Or yeah, Sab, email me again if you can at nocturnalfrequencyradio@gmail.com, and we'll have a conversation, guys, through there, or some other way. We can figure that out. But a great idea. I it's something I've been thinking about for a while, but it just, like I said, I haven't been up to DeForest in almost, oh God, it's been 4 years, if not closer to 5. And I don't know why, but I think a lot of it has to do with the people who live there now, and how very, I don't know, suspicious they are. I know they don't take too kindly to people being up there, and I really don't have a problem with that, because we've been up there when the people who used to be up there that lived in the old DeForest home, they're actually quite inviting of it, and they knew what we were doing, and asked, the guy would be out on his lawnmower and asking me all sorts of questions about stuff that we had found. And in fact, we set it up with him to actually investigate the DeForest home. But sadly, due to the owner passing away, they had to sell the property, unfortunately, and the house was demoed. Sad piece of property like that. Brilliant fucking house. Wonderful home. Demoed for a mansion that looks like shit. I'm sorry. I do not like the mansion up there now. Thanks, Sab. I will get back to you as soon as I look at the emails. But I absolutely would love to put a trail cam up there and see what we do capture. Yeah, like I said, I've been up there countless amount of times over the years, and no, they kind of creep us when we're up there. Well, like I said, it's been about 5 years. I think we did one investigation after the restoration, because we wanted to see if the restoration would stir up some activity, because that's obviously a theory that when a house is renovated or something like this restored, blah blah blah, that it kicks up some sort of activity. And we wanted to go up there and see. We were up there a couple times, I think, and unfortunately, because each time we went up, it seemed like they would come home and drive by the cemetery slowly, like sort of surveilling it. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. We're honestly, all we're doing is just taking audio. We're and maybe snapping some pictures. We're very quiet. We're not loud at all. Not loud at all. And yeah. So I mean, yeah, absolutely. I think a trail cam would be a really great idea. I would love to put one up there to see what kind of activity it captures, because man, it's so, I can't explain it. I can't explain the vibes of being up there early in the morning, 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. It's just, like I said, it feels like you're walking through a portal and you're stuck and there's a lot going on. There's a lot going on with that place. Everything from, there was one time, and I have it somewhere. I don't know where I have it. There was really odd time when a few of us went up there. This was a while ago. We went up there, and we knew it was going to be quite a productive evening. But I remember getting up there, and we were talking, and then all of a sudden it's like, shh, be quiet, what's going on? Did you hear that growl? It sounded like there was a growl in it, like an animal or something growling in the distance, like loud. And we're like, what the hell was that? Shh. And there it was again. You heard this growl. It's like, what the fuck would be growling like that in the middle of the night? Like that. It wasn't a coyote. What was making it? It was weird. It was a weird growl. And I don't know how many times that we've gone up there. Again, late at night. And the stench, it almost smelt like death. The stench of death. It was just an odd stench, very foul. It's like it reeked. Where is it? There's no slaughterhouses or anything like that. No, it wasn't a rabbit. No way. Definitely wasn't a rabbit. If it was a very demonic rabbit. I've got the recording somewhere. Like I said, I've got so much stuff I want to share with you guys. But I have to get my, yeah, exactly. Kind of like in Monty Python. There's so much stuff I want to share with you guys. Like I said, it just, people often ask me. I've been to many locations over the years here in Canada and in the US, some very popular places in the US as well. And people often ask me, what's been the most active place you've been to? What's your favorite place? And, a lot of them are surprised when I say DeForest Pioneer Cemetery. And they're like, why cemetery? And I go, it's just not a cemetery, though. It's just not your normal cemetery. I simply can't explain the amount of activity that has been experienced in that place in, especially between 2005 and probably 2010. In those 5 years alone, up until about maybe 2012, there was so much activity in that place. It was incredible. The ghost chatter, my shadow person experience, the EVPs were just overflowing. And, I think a lot of it went downhill when the DeForest home was demolished. There was a period that we hadn't gone up there. It had been a while because we kind of moved on. And we were finding, obviously a lot of other places to investigate. But we returned and, the DeForest home was gone. It was like, what? What happened? And I go, there's no way they would simply just demo it. It's a historical home. I mean, it's got to be one of the first loyalist homes in that area. it didn't make any sense. That part and parcel to having like a little schoolhouse, church, and now made into renovated into a guest house that they were using as a guest house. In fact, the owner, the former owner, was telling me that, um, yeah, 200 acres. Yep, 200 acres. The It was only a small schoolhouse. It's still there. It's still there. It's now a guest house, as I mentioned. It's just a small little uh, guest house. I couldn't tell you the exact dimensions of it, but it was used as a schoolhouse for the kids and a church on Sundays. Didn't fit a lot of people because they didn't need to. I mean, there wasn't really a lot of people in the area at the time. There was probably just a handful of families who had moved there at that given time. Do you have any listed buildings in Canada, buildings that cannot be demoed? Yeah, we do. We have historical assigned buildings. Unfortunately, I don't think the DeForest home was one, which is sad because it should have been. Unfortunately, money talks, and the house. I was hoping. That they might have moved it to somewhere else, but that wasn't the case. It was demoed, and a mansion was built. Sad but true. Sad, very true. But as I said, and then we continued to go up there and analyze stuff and record stuff, and again we had the feeling that because the house was no longer there, it would the cemetery would react to it. And there really wasn't too much going on after the fact. But I wouldn't be surprised if I did capture something. Well, yeah, this is I think this is the graveyard. DeForest is the graveyard. Again, that church was only it was like a personal sort of built by the DeForest family on their plot of land. And again, people, like I said, would come there and have sermons. Just a few families, just a handful of families that had escaped the U.S., were loyalists, trying to be closer to the motherland, England at the time, and escape the American sort of dominance of look at, we don't want to be a part of. They wanted independence, right, from England, and they obviously fought for it, and many of the loyalists fled and came to Upper Canada at the time. Hey Neil, how are you? Good to see you, man. Thank you, really appreciate that. Who I'm not gonna. I won't say that we have our classic T-shirts, guys. Grab them while you can, because they're only up until September 8th, and then we're gonna retire it, I think, for good. Our classic double-sided T-shirts. We're going to retire for good, I think, because we're gonna have a new logo and so on and so on coming out soon, hopefully, for 15 years. Wow, it's hard to believe. 15 years of broadcasting this show. This isn't the show, obviously, but Nocturnal Frequency Radio. It's hard to believe it's been 15 years. And yeah, really cool. and starting our 16th season in September 8th, with a guy that many of you guys know, Reeves Cook. That's happening on the Friday, September 8th at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is 11 o'clock p.m. UK time and 3 p.m. Pacific time. So, guys, if you're around, stop by, join us, say hi to Reeves. We're looking forward to catching up to him with him. So that's cool. But yeah, so I don't know. DeForest is I like I said, I've always said is probably been my favorite place over the years to research. And I do have a, hold on, if I can find it. I don't know if I can find it. I do have a, no, I don't have it here. Is it in the binder? No, I have it hiding somewhere around. I don't know where it is. But a pamphlet, a book that I had to buy. They gave me more information on DeForest, even more than the local historical society and city. Was able to give me, which is sad, but it's not in here. Oh wow. Wow, interesting. My first script, movie script. Oh, I don't know. If I find it, I'll share it with you guys. It's around here somewhere. But anyways, they basically, what was it? Okay, so basically, the whole point was to order this genealogical survey, if you will, by an independent source, somebody who spent I think 8 years of their life documenting the people who were buried in DeForest Cemetery. And in fact, the survey was so extensive on one person's back alone, it blew away any information that the city had on this particular cemetery and the historical society. Because when I contacted them, they were like, in total, we don't really have a lot. What do you mean you don't have a lot? You don't have anything? Not really. You know, you gotta be kidding me. I just don't understand why the city wouldn't have that kind of information. You think they would? And again, I kept thinking back to the first time walking up into that cemetery on the cliff, on the hill, and going, wow, why is this like this? Why is this in the condition it is? I kind of think that too, but like, I just seem to think that it's not associated with a church, and that's why. It's not associated with any particular surviving church or any church in that area, because it was a private family plot, at the time. And that's, again, why it's a pioneer cemetery. many pioneer cemeteries back in the day didn't have an affiliation to a church. A lot of them lay in the middle of nowhere, with no church in sight. And but the city does recognize them, and they do put up signage. I mean, there was signage, but that was it, because it's on the city land, on the city property. So they took it under their wings, but they don't maintain them, a lot of them. I mean, they didn't with DeForest. DeForest was just like, when we got up there, the grass was like fucking 10 feet tall. Not really, but I mean, and it hadn't been maintained within years, for years. I mean, it was to the point where I wanted to come up with my own lawnmower and cut the fucking grass. But unfortunately, my lawnmower wouldn't be able to do it because it was so fucking thick and high. So, I mean, at least now I think it is maintained. I read that in the 1800s, the church and graveyard was owned by the neighboring landowner. Maybe the neighboring landowner is in fact the DeForest family. And again, had passed away. He had passed away. The landowner, I believe, passed away in 2012. And I asked him, I believe I remember asking him at one point if he had any records or anything, and he had said no, he didn't have records, but they did know a lot about the DeForest family because of the house that was in behind. But I don't. It's really sad. It really is. And on the other side is a quarry. And it had been there for years. An active quarry. But yeah, I don't know if the family that lives there now, I believe he's a very, very rich Korean family that lives in there that built the mansion. I don't think they would have that information, but then you never know, right? You never know. It is another avenue I could sort of explore, but like I said, they didn't seem too happy the handful of times we went up there after they had moved into their mansion. Hey Steve, did you know you? Hey Savari, how are you? Thanks for joining. Yeah, so I don't know. I'll go on for a few more minutes, but then I'm gonna have to go. But yeah, it's yeah, guys, Sab and B and all that. If you guys are interested in shipping in, then absolutely, I don't have a problem with picking up the trail cam, and I will absolutely go up there and place it, and hopefully nobody will steal it. I'll put it in a relatively good spot where we can get a good view of the overall cemetery. Like I said, it's not a very large cemetery, but obviously a good vantage point would be great. And that's something, yeah, I'm excited for that, guys. Thank you for getting me excited about this again. It's been a while since I've been up to DeForest and had carried out an investigation or some audio work, but hopefully in the fall, maybe in the fall, I definitely wouldn't mind going back out there and doing that. That would be really cool. So yeah, guys, if you're interested, just shoot me an email at nocturnalfrequencyradio@gmail.com. And we'll find DeForest a trail cam. And we'll post any results, any footage and whatnot up here on the channel. That's a great idea. Thanks, Sav, for bringing that up, because it was something that I often thought about, but I'm like, do I really want to do that? I'd rather just be there and experience shit firsthand. But I mean, it's becoming increasingly hard. Time is limited, but definitely look forward to moving on and doing something like that, guys. I think that would be very interesting, very exciting, and to see what we might get. If I know DeForest, I do know DeForest, I think we'll get a lot of cool stuff, a lot of intriguing stuff. So yeah, something to look forward to, guys. And you know what? Let's do it. Possibly within the next couple weeks. And I'll go up there and I will place the camera and go from there. And of course, Sab, just give me some specs. You seem to know your trail cams better than I do. I've looked at a few, but I'm not an expert on them. So, Sab, again, in your email, if you sent it, if not, just send a follow up with some specs on a good cam, and we'll look from there. Okay, guys. Until then, thank you for joining me. And like I said, I will be putting together some old DeForest footage for you guys to watch. Yeah, again, that is something that we'll look into as well, Mark. Yeah, that is something I will look into as well when it's all said and done. Definitely, that's a definite thing. Yep. So, I mean, if you guys are interested in pitching in, I don't care if you pitch in $2, £2, whatever. If you guys are interested in being a part of this pet project, thanks to Sab and B and guys, once again, email me at nocturnalfrequencyradio@gmail.com and we'll go from there. Okay, guys? Until I don't know the next time. I don't know. I might come on again for a live before the season starts on September 8th. But until then, guys, take care and thanks for joining me. And once again, I will most definitely get you guys that old DeForest footage too. For you guys to watch. There's some really intriguing stuff. Yeah, it's shot on digital i8, so the quality isn't the best, but I mean, it's good. It's doable, guys, and it's in night vision. Everybody loves night vision, most of it anyways. So until then, guys, take care, be well, and we'll see you on the next one. Okay, guys, take care. Bye.